Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers Podcast. What is going on, Clint Nation? This is a show that is part of the Believe network of podcasts, and on today's show we're talking about the Dodgers. Imagine that. The Dodgers made another trade, continue to win the offseason, I guess, but not really. We're going to find out who or what an Andre Lipcius or Lipcius is today a little bit, and we're not really going to find out, but we're going to talk about it a little bit. Plus, the opening day rotation is coming into focus. We're going to hear a little bit from Clayton Kershaw, who's back in camp with the Dodgers. We got to talk a little bit about Gavin Lux or some packs and stuff. It's a jam-packed edition of the All Dodgers live stream here on a Dodgers spring training off day on a Monday. I am Clint Pasillas. You guys can see it right there. I'm a longtime baseball guy, and I'm here on the channel for you people, making Clint Nation happen. So subscribe to the channel. Really would help out the channel if you consider doing it. Hitting the thumbs up button on the videos also helps out the channel a shit ton. And yeah, let's go. Let's try to get to 70 billion subscribers before the end of the day. Or not. If you guys are watching this live, drop into the comments, drop into that chat. Let me know where you are representing your Dodgers fandom on this fine Modelo Monday. I did not get a Modelo. I'm not going to drink tonight, guys. But I do have a Monster, so we're going to rage all night long. Let's get into a few comments, and then I got a little bit of an announcement, and then we'll talk Dodger baseball. But Diane Schroeder, of course, is in the chat saying, smash that like button on your way into the show. That sounds like a really damn good idea. I know my guy Kevin Uhas is in the chat, says, first comment of the night. I also apologize for being a little bit late, guys, about 3 minutes late, you know. Rome wasn't built in a day. But Kevin Uhas in the chat saying, my favorite part of Monday. Kevin, I appreciate you for the fine, heartwarming comment on the show. Jose Ayala in the chat saying, go Dodgers. What's up, Clint? What's up? What's going on, Jose? Let's see. Tupapi is in the chat saying, I'm here. Hola. Gary A, what's going on? Saying, Orale La Puente. ¿Qué pasó, Gary A? Good to see you in the chat. Trey B is also in the chat. Says feels weird to not watch the Dodgers play tonight or play today. Spring training off days are definitely weird. I agree with that, but we're here. Dodgers are always here. There's always some sort of baseball content going on YouTube, which is crazy. Hopefully, you know, I could find ways to try to churn out more, I guess, but I don't know. I don't want to saturate the channel. I don't want to oversaturate YouTube. If you guys want to see more, you let me know what you want to see. There's a new way for you guys to let me know maybe what you want to see. We'll talk about that in a second. Justin Yamas, I'm assuming I'm saying it right the latter way. He's talking about the Braves, the Bravos losing Ronald Acuna. I have not heard the latest of with the Ronald Acuna saga outside of he was going back to L.A. to visit Dr. Neil Elatrash for a knee injury. It sounded like a meniscus injury. I don't know if he's missing time. If he is, that sucks because when he's healthy, when he's right, he's somebody who can ignite baseball. We saw that last year with your National League MVP. So if they end up losing him for any extended period of time, that would really, really suck, and it would suck for baseball. But, you know, hopefully things turn out well for Acuna. Sarah Morris is in the chat. What is going on, Sarah? Jimmy Lobo is checking in from Norwalk. What is going on, Jimmy? James, what is happening? Diane says, I was too busy getting that drink. No, I didn't get a drink. I made a decision. I didn't want to have a drink tonight. Also, I was already late, so I didn't want to go out to the garage, so we'll figure that one out. Jenny Vega's in the chat. What's going on, Jenny? How you doing? Logan Jones says, hey, Daddy, how are you? Bruh. Says, can you sign Blake Snell for 1 year and $1 deal? I got it. You know what? I mean, back in the day, you used to be able to get like a spicy chicken sandwich for 99 cents, $1.07 out the door with tax. I don't know what inflation has done now. But, you know, I'm going to make it happen. I'll get Scott Boras on the phone right now, and we'll make some things happen. Macking Daily is in the chat, checking in from Boyle Heights. We got Coach Charlie in the chat, checking in from San Jose. Sarah Morris writing some words, 500 words about Gavin Lux. We are going to talk Gavin Lux a little bit later in the show. I don't want to beat the dead horse about the Lux situation. By the way, congrats to Gavin Lux. They announced he was now engaged to his girlfriend. I don't know if we want to say longtime girlfriend. They've been together since like 2021, I believe. But him and Molly are engaged, so that's pretty cool for Gavin and Molly. Congrats to the happy couple. Jim checking in from Indianapolis, Indiana. Great show. Go Big Blue. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Yamas. Justin confirms it is Yamas. Let's see what else we got in here. So Tastic is in the chat saying what's going on, saying finally getting to see the live show again. Kevin Uhas being upset about me not drinking on a show. Listen, give me a day right now. My guy Cooper Neal is in the chat. If you guys don't know Cooper Neal, he's the guy who made that graphic and who made the little character of me down there. Hell of an artist, big time Dodger fan over there on the East Coast, so it's hard for him to stay up late at 7 p.m. West Coast time. But appreciate you hanging out with us, Coop. Adam818 in the chat. Logan Jones in the chat. Thoughts on Josh Donaldson retiring? Hell of a career. Might have held on a few years too long. And guys, if you are watching, and some people hate this part of the show when they watch the show back afterwards, we are going to get to Dodger Talk at some point. If you really want to enjoy the show, join us live. Join us live every Monday, every Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific. Until things change, we'll figure it out as the season comes along. But we talk about what people want to talk about here at the top of the show, and then a little bit all throughout the show, and then later on in the show. But, hell of a career for Josh Donaldson. Held on a little bit too long for sure. You would have liked to have seen him stay in Atlanta after that one big time. It wasn't a breakout year, but he had like a resurgent year in Atlanta. I think that would have been really cool for his career. Instead, he ends up taking that 4-year deal with the Twins. Kind of falls off the face of the map, the face of the planet there after becoming such a superstar in his time with Toronto and all of that. But, again, congrats on a great career. He was somebody who couldn't crack an A's active roster for a while, played out of position for a while as a catcher, and turned himself into one of the better third basemen of the last decade and a half. So, again, shout out Josh Donaldson. Kind of a dick, but he was one of those fun guys to watch play the game of baseball. Brian is checking in for another one from Vincenus. I'm guessing I'm saying that wrong, but Vincenus in Indiana, I believe that is. BC's in the chat. Diane vouching for me says give Clint's liver a break. Sometimes words are hard. Jenny Vegas says Lux is so young to get married. Man. He's one of those guys. I forgot who was on the show when we were talking about it. I don't know if it was Doug or if it was Greg Bergman, but we were talking about how doesn't it feel like Gavin Lux? I think this was Doug. Doesn't it feel like Gavin Lux has already been in the league for like a decade at this point, even though he just made his debut in 2019? He's already pretty damn, I don't know about old by baseball standards or whatever, but it feels like he's in his 40s with how long he's been around. Trey B talking about Blake Snell. We're going to talk a little bit about Blake Snell a little bit later on the show. Appreciate you guys for your support on the Blake Snell talk. I had fun having that conversation in the last stream. Put out the standalone of that video, kind of tightening up the conversation a little bit as much as I could for people who maybe don't want to watch the full live stream here. And it seems like it's a conversation people want to have about Blake Snell. Again, the reality, it's probably not going to happen, but things become things. But let me move on a little bit here as people start talking about having a drink or two or three or whatever. Not even slightly a segue. Before we get into the show, do have a little bit of an announcement. I'm going to be one of those people. My little buttons here are blocked. Usually I have buttons here, but I didn't tune these into here. I want to say I've already, kissed you guys' ass enough. I kid. But no, you folks have been amazing and supportive as we've grown the channel, just past 6,400 subscribers so far. I love the hell out of you people. You've been phenomenal over these last few months and made this fun again. You guys made baseball great again. With the likes, the comments, positive DMs from people, folks subscribing. That's all just it's been huge. It's been massive. It's been fun to see. Been, of course, a lot of you amazing people sending in super chats during the stream, super thanks on some of the videos that have come out after the fact, and that's been amazing and humbling or heartwarming, whatever the proper word is here. As great as super chats are and all that, there's one of the things that kind of sucks is YouTube does take a fair amount of super chats. They take like 30% of your revenue on that, which, I mean, still getting 70% of a super chat is better than I was doing at my last gig, I will just say. But at the suggestion, probably shouldn't have said that, but anyways, at the suggestion of a number of folks, I'm gonna test drive something a little bit different, or not really different. It's not different here in the creator space on the YouTube and all that. Yeah, I'm going to introduce a Patreon page because why not? I'll got a little thing here. First and foremost, you're supporting independent sports coverage when you're supporting me, or at the same time as supporting me. So if you like that, that's cool. I have 2 tiers so far. I don't know what we want to add or expand or take away from it. You're helping keep the lights on here and the lights, shining brighter for myself, Mrs. FRG, all the critters that hang out around the house. And you're giving me the freedom to, if you do decide to go that route, to create more content, maybe do different style content, things that I usually wouldn't be able to do because we're kind of, you're worried about also making ends meet day to day. So starting again with the 2 different levels is you get nothing out of it. You get the pleasure of supporting me if you really feel like it. There's another one where I decided to start a Discord chat. I don't know if you people like that. We'll figure it out. I'll do what people prefer if you want anything. And there's another one I've been excited about. I've been sitting on for a little while, but I have a backup phone number, like a voicemail line that I think could be fun for segments. People can get drunk over the weekend, call in, leave a voicemail, and we can have like a voicemail bag on Mondays where people talk either they have something good to say about the Dodgers, something bad to say about the Dodgers, thoughts, questions, just things we can use in future segments. So if you guys want more from Patreon, I'll give you more. If you want less, I'll give you less. If you want none of it, that's fine. If you want me to add more expensive options for some reason, you let me know. I'll still be thankful to anybody who sends in super chats here on YouTube, of course. Anybody who's taking their time out to watch the show means a lot. Anybody who's taking money out of their hard-earned money out of their pockets to support me and what we do means a fuck ton to me for sure. So if you want, to not even keep having, I'm to keep doing it, but whatever, whatever comes through, you want a different way to support the show, there it is. It's in the description of the video. I'll put it in the chat here as well for folks that want to check it out. And again, if anybody has experience with Patreon, I'd love to hear from folks about how to use it better. But anyways, I thank you guys for the time on this, for the effort. And for sitting here listening to me talk about not Dodgers for a little bit. But again, thank you. Let's get on with the show because there was some Dodger news today. The Dodgers, the biggest story of the day. Here's your big ticket leading off the show. The Dodgers pick up infielder Andre Lipcius. That is how you pronounce it. Had to look that one up. For old friend, fan favorite, cash considerations on Monday. Pick him up from the Tigers. Recently DFA'd over the weekend by Detroit in one of those, I want that guy who was DFA'd. Well, we need to DFA this guy to get a spot for him. And Dodgers are like, we got a spot. We'll take him. They didn't have a spot. They did have to make a corresponding move. Clayton Kershaw goes to the 60-day IL. Not a surprise there. He's not going to pitch until July or August at the earliest. But had a burp. I'm gonna burp with no booze in me. That's a problem. Lipcius, 25 years old, 26 in May, made his major league debut last season for the Tigers. Actually hit a home run as his first big league hit, which is pretty cool for the kid. 10 for 35 in 13 games. 3rd round draft pick by Detroit back in 2019. So why did the Dodgers make this move? Simple. Depth. That is what they do. That is what they want. They like filling out the depth on the roster. That's one of the things that the Dodgers do very best, or that Andrew Friedman does very best, is adding and always adding to the roster, and Brandon Gomes, finding ways to maximize the space on this roster. Adds versatile-ish infield depth to the organization. He's played mostly third base and second base in his pro career, but those are two relatively thin spots in the organization. He adds a right-handed hitter with some quality bat-to-ball skills. If you're looking at just the plain numbers in his minor league career, to get bat to ball going to the farm system, he could take a walk too. He has 220 walks over 4 minor league seasons. The Modelo Monday fairy just walked in to the room. So guys, I guess your boy is cracking a beer for Andre Lipcius. Thank you, a Modelo fairy. Keep the lights. Hey, Patreon also pays for beer, guys. Just saying that. But this is one of those guys that's kind of a roster replacement, a 40-man roster replacement for somebody like Eddie's Leonard, who was on the roster for a little bit. I think he was, but they moved on from him. I think he was traded to, I forget, where was it, Philly? I might be thinking of the wrong guy. And most recently, Horbit Vivas, who was on the roster for like 2 years and then was traded this offseason to the Yankees. So if we see him in LA, something went wrong. But it's nice to have a little bit of backup, a little bit more backup in the organization. We have more to talk about Kersh, but let us go to the comments here, because we can't have, as Kevin Uhas called it, the Modelo fairy walk into the room and not talk to the comments for a bit. But yes, Kevin Uhas, let's go. It's the Miodello fairy. We're getting some love in there, by the way. Eric Arco says, that's right, click the like button, guys. Make sure you're hitting that like button, by the way. Those are another one of the things that really help out the channel in the algorithm. But you guys see Dave Roberts, for some reason, doing breakdancing with Mookie Betts? That was funny as hell. I like what my buddy Vince Samperio said on the Twitter. He is like, some people were kind of worried about all the coverage that was going to come with Shohei, particularly with all the Japanese media coming. But one of the things that's been great is they have given fans like nonstop access. They're always recording what is going on in the backfields there at Camelback Ranch, and that's where we get gems like old head Dave Roberts breakdancing, as people did back in his day. So that's funny as hell. Shout out Dave Roberts. And now you can't fire Dave Roberts. He's out here dropping a heady breakdance. He got a full 2 rotations out of it, then landed the pose, said, paint me like one of your French girls, got the slap on the ass from Mookie. I hope Mookie said good game, but can't fire Dave Roberts now. Come on. Jenny says, cheers. Thank you. Sarah Morris loved Dave Roberts dancing. Leshevitz' Dave Roberts break dancing is cool. We love to see a lot of people talking about your boy Doc Roberts doing his do a little dance, making a little love. Get down tonight. Let's see. Kevin. So we're going back a little bit here. Obviously, I kind of did the Patreon pitch and then moved on because it's uncomfortable for me to ask people for things. Like, I'm not begging. I'm just saying, like, hey, any way you guys can help out, that's in a different way. This is another option. Kevin Uhas said, I want to support Clint FRG in the best way possible, not a multi-billion-dollar company named YouTube. Can't agree with that one any more than I'm already agreeing with it. This is just me. Everything you see in here, I've paid for. All of the podcast stuff, all of the setup. This is all me. This is a one-man operation. Mrs. FRG helps out where she can. Clearly, as a Modelo fairy, helping out a little bit on Twitter here and there with some things. But it's hard. It's hard out here being a pimp. I don't know. Diane Schroeder said she's gonna reach out and try to help me out with some Patreon. Thank you, Diane. And I think we need to get our mods together, by the way, for some secondary chatting and probably a beer in reality at some point in time. But Diane likes the voicemail bag idea. I've been hot on the voicemail bag for a long time. I've really wanted to do that. You can text that line too. unless it becomes a problem for me. I will. Anybody who signs up, I eventually got to send them a number. I got to figure out how to do that. Again, bear with me as Patreon gets going. I am going to do my best to figure it out. There's the Discord thing. I think that could be fun. That could be a fun way to watch the game with each other and talk about the game or whatever's going on. Questions during the day, during the game as well. If you have ideas for content you want to see me take a crack at, I would love to have different ideas. I know there's a few in there that folks have shared in the chat while we're going that I do need to take some time to kind of storyboard and film. I wouldn't say I took a leap of faith, but I did a little bit of a different video on Sunday with that Mookie Betts video. I hope some folks enjoyed it and watched it. I'm going to be dropping that as a audio podcast as well this week. But I was trying to tell a story there with Mookie because maybe I was onto something, maybe I was not. But if you guys didn't see it, check it out. I'll link that in the chat somewhere or on the YouTube here. But just find it. It's on YouTube. You guys can do that. Trey B says would love it if we could somehow call in during the show as well. That would be dope. That's something too. That is a full-blown reality. We're gonna have to we'll have to be careful about it, as careful as we can, but also what is YouTube gonna do? They can get mad at me? Bring it on, YouTube. But I have all the equipment here to be able to make that happen. So baby steps. We start with voicemail line, we go from there, and we see what happens. Jenny Vega saying, please support Clint through Patreon with a smiling face. Thank you, Jenny Vega, one of our favorites in here. Did I miss something in here? Did I miss did I miss I'm over here shitting all over YouTube, and I think I missed a super chat. Did I miss a super chat? Where are we at? Is it more at the beginning? Is it more at the end? We'll see. It might be more recent. My bad, guys. There's a lot going on here. As I see a little while ago, Chen Liu wanting the Dodgers to sign Blake Snell, as you would imagine. Let's see. Logan Jones. I'm getting word that there it is. Logan Jones with the $4.99 super chat. That's almost the same amount you could go put on Patreon. I don't know. I don't really know how to figure this kind of stuff out. We'll figure it out eventually, but I love the comment. Do you remember that Justin Sellers was supposed to be the truth? I loved Cell Block back in the day, and the problem was those teams were so bad that you had to be excited for Justin Sellers. But yeah, loved all the tattoos. He was a good player, good little player. Wasn't really ever going to be a big leaguer. Wasn't even going to be a 4A player. But he's what we had at the time as Dodgers fans. But Logan Jones, appreciate the $5 super chat. You are the man, Logan. Let's see. Jenny Vegas says all Clint Nation in here. Diane said Pimp Daddy. I should probably not have said. I shouldn't have said pimp. And then George wants to see me dance. Yeah, if I hit a home run, if I hit a double, then I'll dance. I'll do the what's it called? Logan Jones with the fire comment saying Clint ignoring his sugar daddy, bruh. Yang Yi asking about the Dodger bench. Ask me that one a little bit later. Let's talk about the bench a little bit later. I don't love it, I'll just say right now, but let's pin that one for a second there. Jenny Vega is also offering up some help on the Discord server, because I'm a Slack guy. I've used Slack for years, and that one is a lot of effort. Blake McPherson asking for thoughts on Justin Wilson. I am a Justin Wilson truther. I think this is a guy who's been, when healthy, very good during his career, and I would love to see him get an opportunity with this club. It's a very, very narrow window for him to be able to make the team as an NRI out of spring training. But if he earns it and somebody doesn't have a very good spring training, people should get jobs based on what they do, not on what somebody else already did. Let us see what else we got. People helping out with that super chat because I couldn't find it. It happens sometimes. I don't know what Aaron Edick doesn't want me to do, but all right, let's Logan Jones asking if I still have MySpace. I think so. But let's get back into the things I wanted to talk about a little bit here. Not that I don't want to talk about what you guys want to talk about, but we mentioned the new guy coming in. The Dodgers did make the roster move. We're talking about Clayton Kershaw a little bit. In other news, I was gonna cover this over the weekend or on Friday, but I didn't do it. So last week, Clayton Kershaw did come back to camp. This is a real quickie one, but there's a few things that Kershaw added that I think are pretty fun and worthwhile for us all to hear together as a family, and gives me a chance to drink more beer. But he came back to Camelback after spending a couple weeks back home. He's going to be with the club until they take off to Korea in mid-March. Then he's going to be back again with the Dodgers when they're back home in LA. And I don't know if that's for the spring training, the Freeway Series, or if that's for opening day number 2 in LA on the 28th. But he did speak with Sportsnet LA's Kirsten Watson. He had some updates on where he's at right now, coming out of the surgery, the recovery, and where he's at in his throwing program, and also just his general thoughts about joining the club at this point. So let's hear from Kirsch. All right, well, Mr. Clayton Kershaw. And that's to the wrong thing, so let's take a second, and let's... Why are you going to the wrong one? Hold on.
So I can come here and kind of have something to do. I'm throwing now and feel a little bit more like you're a part of the team, even though we got a ways to go.
Let's restart that one.
All right, well, Mr. Clayton Kershaw back here at Camelback Ranch, a big surprise for all of us. Just what's been going on for you so far? I know spring training looks a little bit different right now, but how have things been just on your end?
Yeah, it's been good. I've been doing the rehab at home, and it's kind of been good to get a little further along in the process, and so I can come here and kind of have something to do. I'm throwing now and feel a little bit more like you're a part of the team, even though we got a ways to go, but always good to get back out here, see everybody, and thankful for everybody with the Dodgers letting me kind of be home for a little bit longer and stay with the fam, which has been great. And yeah, it feels like where I'm supposed to be now. Obviously, it was weird not being here, watching games on TV, and but yeah, it's always fun to come back and see everybody.
Yeah, but I know you were a part of a Zoom. You were on one of the broadcasts and finding different ways to be here. But with the throwing program, just where are you at with that right now, and kind of what's that big first step for you to kind of get through to know that things are progressing in the right way?
Yeah, I mean, this is my 4th week of throwing, and from week 1 to week 4 has been a world of difference for me. So it's starting to feel like I'm actually a normal pitcher, can actually play catch, and still a ways to go, obviously, but just the shoulder, you can tell, is healed. It feels good, and now it's just like putting a lot of time and energy into building it back up and taking the right steps, not trying to go too fast, and not the easiest thing in the world for me to do, but it's been good. I know I've got some time, so I'm just trying to take it.
When you just kind of take a look at what this first half of the season is going to look like, so I know we've talked about you're not going to really put a timeline on it just yet, but hoping sometime in the summer, what do these first few months of the season look like just for you, with not only the build-up, but kind of finding ways to still be around the team, but also prioritizing, obviously, your build-up and coming back?
Yeah, it's new territory for me, honestly. I'm not super sure exactly what the day-to-day is going to look like. I'm going to be around, especially for homestands. I'll be around the team and try to feel like I'm a part of it as best I can, because I think it's good for me to feel it. I don't know if anybody else cares, but for me to be a part of it is good. You want to feel like you're a part of the team, and so I'm going to do that as best I can, and then obviously get what I need to do done, do the right rehab, and work hard to get back. But first surgery, first rehab process, I don't really know what to expect, but just thankfully these guys do, so that's good.
So it's good to hear from Kirsch. It's good to hear that he's on the mend, he's on the come, as Dave would say, that freak. But he's throwing, he's well into his rehab recovery, throwing progression, which is about where you want him. He's not any closer or any further away from making the opening day roster or eventually making the active roster. I love this comment from Aaron Eddick saying, "Get this man another ring." Would love to see that. I want to see the arms go up. Kirsch also added in the conversation that he likes the state of the Dodgers pitching staff, particularly when it comes to starters. And, he likes the idea of the competition that is really in front of them right now. He admitted, you got to be good enough to actually break this starting 5 or starting 6 now. So he said he's hoping that he can be good enough to make to find his way into that top 6, and that's the mindset you want. Even if you're a GOAT, even if you're a Hall of Famer, he is coming off of a major shoulder injury, major shoulder surgery, and nothing should be guaranteed. Not a spot on the active roster, not a roster spot when it comes to October. You got to earn it. You got to definitely earn it. Let's see. Adam818 said, get him a real ring so he can retire into the sunset. Bruh. But also, that's fair. Aaron Eddickson, Clayton needs to be part of a Doyer championship parade. Would love to see my man Kershaw celebrating in the parade, because that dude he's a goofy mofo, man. And to see him getting a little tipsy, drinking on the streets, partying with the boys, I think it would be pretty funny. We'll give it Mark Madsen levels of funny. Shout out for the old school chat, old school folks in the chat. But let's move on. Let's talk about more camp news. And yes, this is far, far, far from good one for my guy Kevin Skinner. Says Kersh would be shirtless immediately in the parade and feel the burn. No goggles. What's going on, Kev? But yeah, more camp news going on. This is definitely far from news. I probably should have done a different update instead of the Mookie update that I dropped on Sunday, but I already recorded the Mookie and I wanted to get it out. I was excited. It's Sunday. You should have something fun and exciting on a Sunday. But the Dodgers announced their first slate of roster cuts. Everybody's already covered this. Now you're going to hear me talk about it again. They made the first roster cuts after the game on Sunday. To me, there were 2 shockers in there. You got Landon Knack, of course, and my guy Andy Pages, who I just did basically half a whole video about Pages. But let's look at that full list there. Landon Knack goes down. Ricky Venasco, Nick Frasso, of course, he's going to miss the entire season as Frasso after having shoulder surgery and a hip operation recently. The catchers, I'm surprised they also sent down Hunter Fiducia, because Ducci's going to be one of those guys that does get an opportunity with this club this year. He's going to be the first guy called up if one of the catchers gets hurt. Diego Cartaya, he was not playing yet. He's dealing with the back injury, so he's being slow played. Of course, I already said Pages, and then a couple of guys being reassigned to minor league camp. One name not on that list is the also being slow played River Ryan, who will not be starting baseball activities until I think, basically until the end of spring or about the time the minor league season starts. So, but they did my guy Andy Pages dirty, and listen, I understand how people feel about the Pages thing. I did just see a comment a little bit ago as well, like he does have just one game above the AA level under his belt in his career, and that one game is where he injured his shoulder last year. But still, I'm surprised they didn't give them, Knack or Pages just a little bit more run during big league camp. And I understand it's a shorter camp than usual, and I think that led to the decision. You got to get guys ramped up quicker. You got to get more at bats available to the guys that have more of a chance of making your opening day roster, because Pages was not going to make the opening day roster. He's still but a young boy. He's got some ways to go. Basically non-existent. They were going to make that opening day roster, but still, to me, felt a little early in camp. We will see them, just because they're not in the major league clubhouse anymore doesn't mean they're not going to come over from the minor league side, still play some games with the big league Dodgers before they take off to Korea in 2 weeks at this point. Again, I would like to have seen them around a little bit longer. If I was a gambling man, though, I will say I'd put a whole $1 on seeing both of those dudes in LA at some point, once or twice this season. Let's go into some of the comments here. Swollen Sausage is a smart individual here, because that's already a like on the chat. He already liked the stream. What is going on? Swollen Sausage, thanks for hanging out with us. Frankie C saying, had you been watching him longer than 3 seasons, you would know this. He's still young. I understand if we are talking about the the Andy Pajes thing. It's not about him trying to make the opening day roster if he's lingering around. It's more so giving him more opportunities against potential big league opponents or higher competition, because he was showing that he was not getting beat against better competition. He hit 400 in his time, leading the Cactus League still right now with 8 RBI, couple home runs, 1,500 OPS. As my dog over there is upset about Andy Pajes getting sent down. So he was never going to make the opening day roster. He absolutely needed more time, more seasoning at AAA. He needs to actually play at the AAA level for sure. It's just about get him another week, get him another few days. You would have thought maybe they would have just given him a few more days, but still. Young Yi asking who we like better in the outfield, Ramos or Vargas. Ramos for sure. Outfield, if we're talking about outfield wise, defense wise, Ramos. Vargas is not an outfielder at this point. He's not really a big leaguer in my opinion. Jenny Vega knew I would not like Pajes going to the minor leagues. Damn straight, not yet. Give him time. Give him a couple more. Or maybe I think it's a different conversation going there, but we got a couple hundred people hanging out with us here on this Monday. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a Modelo Monday, 7 p.m. every Monday. We stream here on All Dodgers Live, so appreciate you guys hanging out. Sarah Morris says Pajes will be back sometime this season for sure. There's an argument going on, so I don't really know what's going on there. So with all that said, let us move on and talk about some of the other stuff going on at Dodger camp. So here's your more news and notes around camp. I don't know if we're calling him Gavin Stone anymore, if we're calling him Gavin Boulder. And yeah, I agree. It's really bad. But my dude bulked up this offseason. Said he added 10 or 15 pounds. Body by Chipotle is Gavin Stone. But the goal of adding the muscle, adding the girth, if you will, he said he hoped it would help him maintain his velocity throughout the season. He mentioned he had a hard time keeping on the weight during the season. Now, we focus on Stone because, one, that was a big note, or one of the big stories out of camp yesterday was that, he eats a lot of Chipotle, and that's how he's able to put on weight. It's funny. It is funny. I'm gonna enjoy that. Hey, Chipotle, shout out, sponsor us. But he's also, has Stone, been good this spring. He's given up just a run over 5 2/3 innings. I think he's got 3 starts in, or 3 appearances, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. And with the state of things in the health department for the Dodgers, it's looking more and more like he's going to end up being that guy that gets the nod for it's almost a ceremonial 5th starter spot when the season comes, especially in, like the first. And I hate having these 2 opening days. It's really fucking throwing me off. But by the time we get back to the States and we see the Dodgers playing the Cardinals at Dodger Stadium, he's going to be the guy that gets that 5th starter's role, is Gavin Stone. I think that's the way everything's lining up. And yeah, he's earning it. It's not as bad as when Michael Grove got the 5th starter role last year, because everybody kind of got hurt, and 1 start before opening day, Ryan Pepio blows out his whole ass oblique and whatever. So we got. I'm gonna finger some names here as it says. You got Yoshinobu Yamamoto, you got Tyler Glasnow, you got James Paxton. In this situation, I'm putting Pax in that 3 hole just to break up the righties. Of course, Bobby Miller, who's looked very, very solid, very promising for sure this spring. And then Stoner in the hunt. Yarbrough's going to be that guy who's kind of the opener, kind of a bulk guy, but Yarbs is going to be important. We talked about him last week on the channel. So Sheehan would have been that 5th guy. We talked a lot about Sheehan in the offseason. The Dodgers have talked a lot about Sheehan. He earned his way into the good graces of the Dodgers front office. But the problem is he was shut down for a little bit. He's on the mend now. No changes from the last time we talked. I think he did throw on he at least threw some flat ground over the weekend. And the last update on him was Dave Roberts saying that he should be ready for, I'm going to call it opening day 2, Electric Boogaloo at Dodger Stadium if needed. But it's probably going to end up being Stone, or Stone goes with the team to Korea, and then Sheehan maybe gets that spot back. I doubt it. I think Stone would have earned that spot. I did mention Michael Grove, the guy who through most of last season on Blue Heaven, the off season, I just completely always spaced on his name. Maybe there was a reason, because it looks like this dude is not ready for prime time. 6 earned runs so far this spring training. Not looking too good. 11.5 ERA. I don't think he makes the opening day roster, but you put all the pieces together there, and Yamamoto is coming over from Japan, where they don't pitch every 5th day. Tyler Glasnow, we talked about this a whole bunch. He's never pitched more than 121 innings in a season. Bobby Miller, still young. James Paxton has been hurt for the better part of the last 5 years or whatever. So you put all the pieces together, and it's sounding and feeling more and more like, we're getting closer and closer to that 6-man rotation, even if it's not going to be officially named a 6-man rotation or officially labeled as a 6-man rotation. It's kind of going to be a 6-man rotation. One of the other reasons it's feeling more and more like it is James Paxton, who made a start. What was it, on Saturday? He was one of the guys who started in that split squad. It's not really a double header, but split squad day. Paxton, he mentioned over the weekend that last season, early in the season with Boston, when he was good, he thrived. I'll air quote it. He thrived when he was pitching on extra rest. So we got, no, that's not the one. That's not the one I want. I had a clip. What am I looking? There it is. There's some words from Paxton. So he said early in the season I had a lot of extra rest, and then we went to the shorter leash when they were trying to kind of make the playoffs or whatever. I'm going to wave over here for you guys. So if you want to have him pitching less, it seems as if you would want to maybe have that 6-man rotation a little bit here and there. Connor McGinnis, Dodgers pitching coach, also added that it seems like when he gets that extra day, it really helps him. So the Dodgers are going to do what they can to keep Paxton healthy and as elite as possible by buying him more time in between his starts, as they should with most of that rotation. When Buehler comes back, again, that's a dude who hasn't really pitched a full season in 2 years almost. Tyler Glasnow has never gone over 120 innings. Yamamoto, everything's lining up for that 6-man rotation, which is not that big of a deal. It's fine. It's a new era, new team. Who dis, and we're not going to see dudes throwing 200 innings anymore, which is sad. It's just sad for baseball people like me. But anyways, let's get some thoughts here from the comments. Let me scroll all the way down here so we can see what folks are saying right now. As Yang Yi says, Grove should eat more Chipotle, and boom. Every time we say Chipotle, we should be able to get like at least a burrito, maybe a burrito bowl. Prefer the burrito bowl. Like this comment here from Jenny Vegas saying, subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button if you guys are so inclined. It really helps out the channel as well. Commenting on the videos after the fact helps out the channel. All those kind of things. Good one from Swollen Sausage. We'll get there in a second. I like that one. I want to try to find it again, but I don't know who we're talking. I think we're talking about Stone there. Jenny Vega saying he's been good this spring, and we're talking about Stoner. CD Mix saying that Yoshi, or Yama as I'm going to call him, looks right. He looks ready. On Yamamoto, so we talked about on Thursday the pitch tipping, or the potential for pitch tipping, with the ball potentially being visible there for somebody standing at second base. Somebody might be able to pick up the pick up the grip that he has on the ball, especially if you have that fork ball, that split finger grip in the glove. So the Dodgers addressed that. They actually talked about it. Did Mark Pryor? He spoke to LA Times. If not, he spoke to a group of reporters at Camelback, and the consensus was like, right now we don't want to do anything to change anything, that could potentially affect his mechanics, affect his rhythm. It doesn't really matter in spring training, but they believe it's kind of the symptom of there's not really as much sign stealing in Japan. It's kind of not exactly frowned upon, but as it says in the article, like it's not something that's practiced necessarily over there in Japan. So it's another part of the learning curve, of the learning process. If we're able to pick it up this early, that from second base or third base, you could basically completely see that ball. Good point there from CD Mix, and they still can't hit him. They can't hit him, but if you get somebody on second base, that could affect the outcome a little bit there. But good to know the Dodgers are already aware of it. One of the things Mark Pryor said is we kind of have people, watching everybody, not just Yamamoto, but everybody for any sort of thing that points to the potential for sign stealing or tipping off a pitch, really. Whether it's something with, the glove or the footwork or where you twist or your eyes, twitching or your tongue going out or whatever, some of this is verbatim. It's good to know, again, the Dodgers are on top of it. As Aaron Edick said, they still need to hit the ball. And, 9 times out of 10, etc. Oh, look at that. Diane Schroeder with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Diane, for being a legend here. We love Diane. We love super chats. We love you all, but send a $10 super chat. I'm going to love you that much more. Maybe that's the Modelo talking. But anyways, Diane says, I figured that since I closed the deal today, I could make a donation to my spring training trip. Thank you, Diane. Yes, I will be going out to spring training next week. Not this coming Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I will be at Camelback for a day and then kind of bouncing around, seeing other baseball teams, just enjoying baseball, enjoying the warm Arizona air and the cold Arizona beer. And could probably buy a beer with that super chat from Diane. So thank you, Diane, for being a legend. As Jenny says, we love Diane. And Bob Nightingale also, I agree, says, what's up? And you can't disagree with that at all. Kevin Newhouse, you can't steal signs if you aren't on second base. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Scott Slater says, let him see the grip. They ain't hitting that fork, my guy. Yeah, I'm a nasty for sure for my guy Scott Slater. That Splitty's pretty filth. And, he's still like, what I do love about Yama's situation is that, like, he's still in there. He doesn't have a very, he has the quick pitch, motion almost. So he's not really, winding and doing a bunch of crap that would leave people to be able to see the ball. And if he's set and you're able to see the ball here, if he's going away from that, if he keeps it there or whatever, if he's throwing a fork ball, he's throwing a split finger, he's going to have that grip. And if he goes to a fastball or whatever, he's going to change in his motion. Is that part of that quick motion? So probably wouldn't be as big of a deal. I'm sure there's a little bit of sign stealing in Japan. It's not completely perfect. So he's been pretty good over the years, including his 1.2 ERA last season in Japan. But let's see. I don't know what that one's about, so I'm going to skip it. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Those are words. Appreciate that. Eddie Chavez has no faith in Bueller yet. Bring on Snell. We got another Snell comment. We should have a Snell alert. I'm going to do that. Every time somebody says Snell, we're going to whip. Young Yee, great comment, says that Michael Grove should eat more Chipotle, and that's just good. That's some high quality H2O right there. Cooper Neal asking about a Paxton Yarbrough piggyback starts. It's definitely in the realm of possibility. I think especially the first 2 games. I mean, we're not going to see Paxton in Korea. We're not going to see Bobby Miller pitching in Korea. We're not going to see. I mean, we might see Yarbrough maybe in a bulk role or something like that. But you're going to try to get 5 out of your guys, your first 2 guys, your Yamamotos and your Tyler Glasnows. But by the time you start getting into the nitty gritty of the season, you got to have a couple of guys in that bullpen that can go long, that can give you a little bit of length, like Yarbrough can, like Stone can if they do go the Sheehan route when he's healthy, or Sheehan can. But then you have a bunch of other kind of one-inning guys that they're slated to put in the bullpen right now. If Dan Hudson, JP Fireeisen, Blake Trinan, Joe Kelly, Gratterall, if all those guys, most of those guys are going to make the bullpen, then you might they might need to alter their bullpen plan a little bit to add one more long guy. Like Yarbrough can't be the only long guy if he's going to be also the what am I looking for? Also like the bulk guy. But anyway, enough about that kind of stuff. Let's see. Anything else right here to get through real quick? No, I wanted to talk about a little bit more about Gavin Lux. We'll button up the starting rotation talk there. We'll button up the Paxton talk there. Just, again, expect to see a six-man rotation, as we all expected already. Expect to see it in due time. But let's talk about Lux for a little bit, because the people love talking about Lux. Everybody's already talking about Lux online. I don't want to add too much. Again, said at the top of the show, Gavin did get engaged today, so congrats to that guy. Going heavily on the clap today.
That's what she said.
Thank you. But the other thing, unsurprisingly, Gavbo there is not really drawing rave reviews on defense quite yet. And I did a video on Saturday, the Pajes one, but I did mention in that video that Gavin Lux had a nice day. He went 3 for 3, and it said, importantly, there were no errors. It did not mean he played clean defense. So I'm going to play a little clip here while we're still talking about Gavin Lux. And you wonder when, let me rephrase that. I ask again, how long before it becomes a worry? How long are we allowed to pretend like we're not worried? Or how long are we forced to pretend like we're not worried? I agree, it's still very early. He missed all of last season. He's barely played shortstop over the last whatever amount of years. I think he deserves some opportunity. Sarah Morris says he gives me ulcers. Oh, man. We won't talk too much about it, but Nando390 with a fire comment here. Fire take. Says Lux about to throw a routine ground ball into the top deck. Hey, you know what? Steve Sachs, eat your heart out when Gavin Lux gets the ball. Really hope he figures it all out. Again, I don't want to have to keep talking smack on the guy. I'm not really talking smack. I'm just asking a question. That's all I'm doing. I'm not saying, hey, I'm worried. I'm just saying, when do we worry? Like Aeronetics, positive take here, though. I'd rather see those errors now than in October. Jenny Vega says we need more likes, so hit that like button or something, I guess. I should probably chat a little bit about the latest with Blake Snell. Since we talked about Snell, I did talk a little bit about Snell in this video or this stream, but not too much. As Diane talks Lux, as he needs to get some gain some confidence. And trust me, he's heard all of this. He reads all of this. He stays on top of what people are saying, and you do worry about that getting in his head. And I just, tune it out, my guy. Tune it out. You do you. You're a first round draft pick for a reason. You are a well heralded prospect at one point in your career. You still got plenty of time to put all the pieces together. Don Kim in the chat. What's going on, Don Kim? Good to see you in here, my guy, saying 16 games and 2 innings until time to worry. Until then, Lux is fine. And you know what? I'm going to take that as gospel right there. Don Kim to the save. So we got 16 more games and 2 innings until we could figure out whether or not we should be worried about Lux. But let's talk about Blake Snell, and then we'll get the hell out of here on this Monday show. But a report surfaced over the weekend that Snell to the Phillies was kind of maybe potentially in the works. One of those, what am I looking for? Short-term, high-money deals. That was shut down today. So I think it was Bob Nightingale who said it on Sunday. It was shut down by I think it was Mark Carrig, or one of the fine, esteemed scribes of The Athletic. I'm sure the Phillies locking up Zach Wheeler to a 3-year and $126 million extension. That's insane, by the way. 3 years, 126 for Wheeler. I mean, Wheeler's he's a dude. That's a guy who is a dude. I'm sure that didn't help, but Blake Snell remains a free agent, and we are now on. It is March 4th. I'm gonna drink on his behalf. Woo. Speaking of Philly, some of y'all folks know I am an Eagles fan. I do want to congratulate Eagles legend, my center, Jason Kelce, on a hell of a career for my Birds. He officially hung up his spikes today in a press conference that definitely did not make me sad. Didn't even think about crying once. But shout out to Jason Kelce. That is the man. That is an outright football legend there. If you want to cry a little bit, or if you want to know what onions or sand taste like in your eyeballs, watch that presser. Importantly, his brother Taylor Swift's boyfriend was also there crying in the presser. But there's Eagles talk for you. Let's get in a few more comments and then we'll get the hell out of here. Swollen Sausage asking, why didn't they play today? Nobody set their alarms. That's what happened. But they didn't play today, and that's where we got Dave Roberts breakdancing, and I'm going to hit that one more time. If you can get Dave Roberts breakdancing, he's just got to do that every game, and nobody's going to say fire Dave Roberts. I promise you. Maybe. I'm sure a lot of people are still going to say it. Anyways, this is an elite comment here to me from Scott Slater saying, when Lux starts giving the Pedro Baez, oh no, oof. Ooh, Swollen Sausage with a fire comment saying Anthony Rendon would have liked the day off. Oh, yeah, he wanted to get traded to Hollywood there so we can take that day off. We got a Clint Nation with some fire from our guy Carnivorous Lunar Activity, and I'm going to push that button because that was the one that made the most sense. Diane calling him out, though, saying you are late. You know, it's very tough. There's always 2018 for me. Well, what are we talking about with 2018 again, Aeronetic? I was there, saw it all. Saw it all. Swollen Sausage wants Jason Kelce to try to hook up with Britney Spears. No. Kylie's she's a beast. She's absolutely a beast. Mike Boyer will probably end on this one saying, Snell, no. I'd rather have a young prospect get a chance than keep him in the minors rotting on the vine. They got a lot of dudes lined up with Stone. Landon Knack is going to be somebody at some point. Kyle Hurt, we haven't really talked too much about over the last couple of weeks, but I'm all in on the Kyle Hurt Express. He is going to be somebody, though, that is, what am I looking for? That's going to be a bullpen guy. He should be a bullpen guy because he's nasty. My guy's nasty. And then River Ryan will eventually be around. He's being slow played now. They're doing the Bobby Miller thing that they did last year. But I would like to see some of these minor league guys too. But if we start having some injuries, if Buehler can't come back, if Kershaw can't come back, and then we start getting into that worry phase. Luckily, they're pretty stocked. They can make some trades, but that's not what you want to see, especially when you got somebody for free out there. Well, not for free, but you don't have to trade for anybody if you are trying to sign Blake Snell. I see a super chat here from my guy, Richard Flores, $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Richard, saying Snell has 2 chances of signing with the Dodgers, slim and none. Slim went skydiving without a parachute. Woof. So you heard it here first, folks. 0% chance that you see Blake Snell in Dodger blue. But guys, that is about it. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you there, guys. Again, guys, if you are looking for a different way to support the channel, check out my Patreon. I'd appreciate it. I'm going to dial it in. It's still new. It's still fresh. If you guys want to see different things, you let me know. I got no problems changing things up. And if you don't want it any at all, I got no problem eating it or whatever. You know, it's all is fair in love and war. But guys, thank you for the comments. Thank you so much for the super chats, folks that did send some. Thank you for what am I looking for? Thank you for listening. If you guys just happen to only listen to the show, if you only listen to the show, it's patreon.com/realfrg. Just throw that one out there. But the link to all that will also be in the description of all the videos. And if you can't watch this show live, I got to remind you, this is part of the Believe network of podcasts. Just search for All Dodgers Podcast with Clint Macias. I'm on iTunes, I'm on Spotify, all that kind of stuff. Consider rating or reviewing the show on those platforms. That also is one other little way to help out the show, help out the channel, help out the brand. But I am Real FRG on the social media platforms. Subscribe if you are so inclined. The links are also in the description. I hope I earned a thumbs up from you on the way out and a subscribe from you before we check out of here. Subscribing is completely free. I don't charge for that at all. But anyways, thank you for all the things, and I will see you on the next one. Okay, bye.